Movie Fanatic Nate reporting, coming to you with another solo review that Matt hasn't seen at all, so I figure it's fair game to do this. That way we save precious Matt reviewing time for things that we've both seen. This is a movie called Madman. This came out, I think, in like 1981 or 1982 during the heyday of the slasher genre. I had never heard of this movie until I was, I don't know how old I was, in my 20s. A friend of mine had purchased it, and from Anchor Bay put it out in the late 80s on VHS. He bought the VHS, and then I later bought the DVD, also put out by Anchor Bay. And this is a movie that I watched recently, I'd say within the last month or two, or rewatched recently, that has a lot of potential, but it's like one of the most boring slasher, it might be the most boring slasher movie I've ever seen. When you think of Madman, or when I think of Madman, it's like good thoughts, but those good thoughts take place in the first like 15 minutes of the movie, and everything else, I mean, maybe not everything else, but the majority of everything else after the first 15 or 20 minutes is just boring. Now there's moments in there like the kills. The thing that's a shame is the kills in this movie are better than probably some of the kills in even the Sleepaway Camp movies. You know, they're good kills, but they're good kills that reside in this ridiculously atrociously boring movie. And it's really too bad, because it's almost impossibly agonizing to get to these kills, because the movie literally barely crawls along. It is, oh my gosh, after, like I say, the first 15 minutes or so, it just barely crawls along, and it's really unfortunate. And I don't understand, you know, I don't know, there's no point to really go into it, but there's a lot of great characters at the very beginning, like the guy who supposedly owns the camp for the gifted children was a great kind of a character guy who unfortunately isn't in the movie except at the beginning and the end.
Madman Bob! Oh, Richie, now you've done it.
There's a guy who unfortunately died, I can't remember when, within the, you know, he's since died, Tony Fish, I believe, who played TP. I think this is the only movie he was ever in, and that guy's phenomenal. There's a lot of great parts in the movie, but I'd say the majority of them were in the first 15 minutes. And there's a lot of great character bits also in that time, where it's like these characters are almost insane. You're wondering, well, what the hell? But it's really quirky, kind of off-kilter things that are just like what I love in movies, which is just out of the blue, like out of nowhere. What the hell are these people saying and why? But I really like that kind of stuff in movies, so that's why, you know, there's great kills and there's great character moments. That's why it's such a shame that the majority of the movie is boring, but unfortunately it is. Another one of the movie's great, I'd say, good things or good contributions to the cinema or music world is the theme, the dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun. And there's actually lyrics that go with it. It's the Madman Mars, who's the killer in the movie, theme song. It's like, lore of the campfire, still telling of his horror. I don't know all the words. Don't laugh at the tale, heed if you call him the excuse me, the legend lives, beware the Madman Mars. I mean, that's cool, you know, and that music in that song is like cool and lame at the same time, but it's mostly cool. Tony Fish does this great, that's the guy who plays TP in the movie at the very beginning. The very beginning opens with one of the best things in the movie, which is Tony Fish doing a scary thing around a campfire, singing some of that song. The opening of the movie is that we see some of the kills, or parts of, we get teased with actual footage of some of the stuff that happens later in the movie. Some of the, after before or afters of some of the kills, and that's just really weird to me. The movie's really weird. But I like independently made, you know, movies, especially from the, you know, the early 80s, the heyday of the slasher movie. Stars is difficult. Because I think it neither deserves it, or I'm not too fond of the movie as a whole because it's mostly crap. So I don't know if it deserves. I'll probably go 2 stars. I'm not sure it deserves 2 stars because the majority is so boring. But the thing is, I love the location, what little they used of it, of the camp location, which they should have embellished on. And like I say, the characters are the plus. Unfortunately, the characters aren't really together. It has a lot of, I'd say, half of the movie is literally just, you know, farting around, looking around, and that's the kind of stuff that, you know, used to happen in full moon movies all the time, where you just waste screen time, just literally looking around, just to waste screen time. So, Madman, I'd say 2 stars. I'm not too sure it deserves it, but there you go. The legend lives, beware the madman.